talk a little bit about how my Schoology is set up. So I want to kind of just take you on a walking tour here, and I'm going to try and keep everything very much the same throughout the whole entire semester so that it is really designed to be easy for you to access things with minimal clicks. I'm trying to somewhat get away from the folders because I think sometimes they're not as visual and easy for people to tell where things are at. So at the top of your page, you will always have it's going to be pinned to the top of the page, this graphic that tells you what your class is. I'm going to just use Foundations of Drawing here as an example, but all of my classes look exactly the same. And then down beneath, you're going to see a bunch of little icons. These pictures are all hyperlinked to take you to some of the hot spots that we're going to use in this curriculum. So for example, this week you're going to be using the syllabus quite a bit. We have a syllabus scavenger hunt that you're going to work on Wednesday. So if you needed to grab the syllabus, you could click on that button and it would take you right to your syllabus for your class. Let's say you need the virtual expectations for West. You would click that icon, you could pull it up. This parent information one, I put that in because parents are accessing Schoology as well. This takes them to my website, but you also are welcome to use my website as well. It's going to naturally take you to the parents page, but if you go to the pancake stack up here in the left-hand corner and click that, there's a student section, and that is broken into classes as well. So let's see if we can get it. There we go. You can see I've got Foundations of Drawing, Foundations of Design, and from time to time I'll stick resources in here just as a backup in case Schoology isn't working. You might just bookmark my webpage, and if you're in a pinch, I will try to make sure that resources are located there as well. In case we have a day where Schoology is crashing or whatnot, that way we have a backup plan. The other big hotspot that I want you to notice this week is this Daily Assignments tab. We'll click on that one. Let's just kind of look at all of them. You've got sketchbook examples. As we start working in sketchbooks, I will always have an example of my sketchbook posted there. This Satori is going to be a timeline. We're going to do virtual timelines. We'll talk a little bit about art history. Artist Spotlight goes with Satori. When I introduce an artist to you, you'll be able to find the information there, and then you'll put it into your timeline. We'll go through all of that later. Don't worry about it right now. This green one is frequently used websites that I use a lot in my classroom. Sometimes kids just like to have access to all of them. So I just put links to any website that I frequently use in this spot. You can open this up. It takes you to a page called Symbaloo, and I have shared this grid with you. So any of these that you click on will take you to any of my frequently used sites. Okay, but let's go back to daily assignments. This one you're going to use every single day. So if you're in question and you don't know what you need to do today, click on this tab. This is going to take you to a Google Doc that I have set up, and the layout of this, every single unit is going to look exactly the same. So at the top, you've got your title. Then you've got a calendar that's going to walk you through that week's activities, okay? Things will be hyperlinked in the top so that you can click on any of these and it'll take you right to where you need to go. Even if it's a Schoology assignment and I hyperlink it, it will take you to the Schoology assignment in Schoology. So everything you need, you should be able to access off of this one page. If you scroll down below the calendar, I also just additional have spelled out kind of what it is that we're doing that day. So these will just kind of build, they'll stack one on top of the other. So after we finish first day activities, then there'll be a new one underneath and we'll just kind of start piling them up. If you're a checklist person, I will put things in order of a checklist here. I don't know if you know this, but if you right click over a checkbox, you have the option to check items off as you go, okay? Which is kind of a nice option. So you're welcome to keep a running list if you would like to check mark things as you go. I would just make sure, highlight just one of them so that it will only check mark one of them. this page is embedded in Schoology for you. So if you scroll down, there will always be a folder, and it's going to have this exact same thing. I have included the little clips at the top so that you can click on all of those quick links again. And this is accessible right within Schoology as well. I just don't like, sometimes Schoology messes up my formatting. So if you're having trouble getting links to work, or if things are just being kind of squirrely when you try to access this page in Schoology, just click the Daily Assignments tab, and that should get you there. Okay, so no matter what page you're on, this is set up to where all of your little icons are there that you can click on, and it should be a quick way to get where you need to go. The other thing, really quickly, let's go back. I wanted to talk about the one thing that I haven't talked about is submitting late work, and I'm going to come back later and talk about this one a little bit more when we talk about timelines and things. If you have never used Schoology before and you don't know, there is a calendar. You click on this calendar icon up here on the top. Any assignment that is in Schoology will show up on this calendar for all of your classes. Last year when we went to virtual, I had a couple people that didn't know this existed. I would check this every single day and make sure that you're staying on top of it. I think the setup that we have going in our Google Doc is going to be a great way to communicate and let you know when due dates and things are, but just that's another option you have within Schoology that might help you with other classes as well. Okay, let's look at where you would want to go in Schoology if you have a Google meeting with me as a class. There's an icon at the top for Google Meeting, and if you hover over the top, it's not going to work right now because I'm recording my screen. But for you guys, when you hover over the top of your screen, it's going to reveal to you the class code, and you will just enter that. You'll click the link and then enter that class code once you get to Google Meet to enter the meeting. It will not allow you to start the meeting until I open it, and then it will, as soon as you all leave, I will close it. So unlike last year, you won't be able to be in a Google Hangout or a Google Meet when the teacher is not there. So just kind of be aware of that. And my code, like I say, will pop up when you hover over the top of that. One last thing that I want to point out is if you have a question, if you will look, there will always be a question discussion board at the very top of everything in Schoology. So if you have a question, before you just email me, I would encourage you to go here and ask your question in a discussion board so that everyone can see it, because most likely if you have the question, everyone has the question. I know last year when people emailed me questions, I never got the same, it wasn't just one person emailing me a question, it was usually lots of people. So if we all get in the habit of going here and checking first, I think that will be the most efficient way for me to quickly address all of you rather than responding to a bunch of individual emails. I'm always happy, and I will tell you in the discussion board, hey, Brad, I will just email you if it's something you and I just need to discuss. But as long as it's, you're going to be a good gauge of knowing what's an appropriate question to ask in front of the whole class. So if it's something like, hey, a link isn't working, or Mrs. Johnson, I don't know if it's okay to turn my paper either horizontal or vertical. Do you care which way? Those kinds of questions are perfect for this spot, okay? So I would just encourage you to come here and ask that question, and I will respond here so that everyone can see what the answer was. I think that concludes our walk through Schoology. If you have any questions, like I said, post it on that question board and we will address it. Okay? All right. That's all I've got for you today. Let me know if you have any questions about our Schoology setup. And as always, if something isn't working, let me know. Don't forget, sometimes you have to click refresh multiple times. Sometimes you have to get all the way out of Schoology and go back in. But hopefully with that access to that page, you should be able to do everything you need, even if Schoology crashes.